Welcome to Saba TV's special series of discussions. I'm Saba Naqvi and today we are going to discuss the word post-truth. Oxford Dictionary chose post-truth as the word of the year in 2016 and I have a very distinguished lot of panelists here to elaborate on why and whether that phenomena applies to India. We have with us Professor Anand Kumar, a fellow at the Indian Institute of Advanced Studies in Shimla. My good friend Vinod Sharma, senior journalist from the Hindustan Times. We have Professor Rajvir Sharma, who is a very interesting and open-minded RSS thinker. And finally, my old friend Ashok Tandon, who describes himself as a senior journalist. But all journalists in Delhi will tell you he was the best media advisor in a Prime Minister's office and in his case in the office of Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So let me start this. Professor Anand Kumar, let me ask you, because the word post-truth got used a lot last year because of Donald Trump and because of the Brexit vote. Basically it means when facts have nothing to do with the reality that is presented to which is supposed to appeal to emotion. So broadly, do you think that we in India also live in the era of post-truth?
Well, in Indian politics, before this word post-truth was coined, there has been a tradition of half-truth, where you present reality through half-truths and make a construction as if it is the total story.
Okay.
But as we are going through elections after elections, unlike America, there has been a filter in common sense behavior, ordinary people's behavior. There is also an old tradition in India where it is suggested, I think it is Upanishadic formula, that Satyam bruyat, Priyam bruyat. Na bruyat satyam apriyam. Please tell the truth which in a pleasant way, but avoid telling unpleasant truth. So we do have a tradition, a memory of playing with truth. But with Gandhi's arrival, truth became a primary principle in pursuit of public opinion building. And whoever was found untruthful was in a way treated as clever, opportunist. At least in politics, truth was supposed to be a precondition to be respected by the people, irrespective of your ideology, your program, your principles. But as you suggested rightly, in Europe these days, there is crisis of cultural confidence. Multiculturality is on trial. And therefore, there is this wave of untruthful mobilization around stereotypes. And you see this happening with Islam. Stigmatizing Islam is part of this post-truth. Stigmatizing European Union is part of post-truth. I don't know how far will it go, but yes, the era of post-truth has arrived in European and American politics.
Professor Rajvir Sharma, let me ask you this, that the way I'm trying to understand post-truth is when facts, hard facts, do they play into what the claims are that are being made? Let us look at the controversial policy of demonetization, for instance. We are here at the end of 2016 talking about India. There are many experts who have written that the facts about various things do not add up to the claims. Yet there is an emotional talk about we will show those people are, that those who, there is an emotional suggestion that anyone who critiques anything is possibly being anti-national, corrupt. There are various things thrown about. Would you please elaborate on it? Fact versus emotion.
I think I should begin with what Professor Anand said. Truth, in fact, is truth anyway.
Yeah.
It is how do you interpret it. I don't call it emotional or I don't call it dilution of truth. but every person interprets that truth in his own way.
Right.
As you gave an example of demonetization, I think you will agree with me that despite the fact that the entire opposition almost united together
Yes.
to convince the people that demonetization is merely a drama, right?
Right.
And they condemned it as anti-poor, anti-kisan, anti-mazdoor, anti-this, anti-that. But I think you will agree that the people ultimately refused to accept what they were saying. They were not able to fuel the mobilization. They failed to mobilize the people, even if they tried their level best. It means that there is a disconnect between what the political class or the civil society or the journalists or the media says and what the people think. In fact, there can be a minor kind of influence of emotional appeal. For example, emotional appeal sometimes becomes necessary to uphold a truth or to strengthen the truth. I'll give you one example. Recently, there was a decision, or you may say an order, interim order by the court, that everyone shall play the national anthem when the film starts. And it was basically a decision to show respect to the national anthem and the national flag.
Right.
But there were differences of opinion. People interpreted it as a kind of an attack on freedom of one's expression and one's liking, though it was again withheld that it is a constitutional responsibility.
Right.
Under Article 51A, this is a constitutional responsibility, but this truth was withheld by saying that you cannot force your choice. It is a hyper-nationalism you are trying to impose. And they said, ये जज्बात का मामला है, you know. Some people said it's a matter of emotions. But when emotions become weak, you might have to apply certain other methods, the constitutional ones also. So it depends on how do you interpret and see the truth. In 2002, from 2002 to 2012, every opposition leader to Modi and his way of governance was critical of Modi. He is a butcher, he is a maut ka saudagar, and this and that. But what people said, this post-truth politics did not work in Gujarat.
Right.
Why it did not work in Gujarat? Because people have a different understanding.
No, sir. I think what the question that I'm asking is the phrase. I believe in India our politics has always used appeal to emotion over factual data. We've always appealed to identities, be it caste, communal, whatever. But so in India we are looking at a different process. The phrase gets currency because Donald Trump gave a lot of misrepresentation of facts. Vinod, do you see an equivalent in India with
Yes.
what has happened in the US?
Now,
Please.
first of all, let me preface what I say with the fact that we are a country that was brought up on the principle of Satyameva Jayate. And I accept the argument that truth is relative. Truth is relative. There is nothing like universal truth. It is all based on one's personal experience of life.
Right.
But at the same time, that relative truth is not a phenomenon, it is not something which you preach to the world. You know. In politics, the relative truth, as it is propagated, leads to what has been described as post-truth politics. Now, what is this post-truth politics? This post-truth politics, I think it's a politics based on distrust, fear, an emotional deficit for certain issues, and a bid to standardize thought on certain key questions facing the country. Mr. Donald Trump did this perhaps late in the day. The originator of that in India was Balasaheb Thackeray.
Okay.
He was the originator of post-truth politics because his entire politics was based on exclusivity. He was a person who had problems with people coming in search of livelihood to Maharashtra, to the city of Mumbai. Now, the same phenomenon has gotten repeated in the United States, and through the Brexit vote on a larger scale. That the Brexit vote was a vote against global trade. It was a vote against people accepting others coming into their country and competing with them for jobs. That fear, that insecurity caused the referendum to go against Brexit. Mr. Donald Trump played on similar emotions. He promised to set up a wall to keep the Mexican out. He has said that he is going to not allow people coming from outside and competing for jobs. He's a great protectionist, you know. Now, I want to ask that in a country like ours, I would not like to mention names and mention 2002 like the learned professor. We are not here to defend or oppose anyone. We are actually here to discuss something which is hugely disturbing. You see, who is contributing to this post-truth politics? We normally blame the social media. But what is more applicable to India, unlike the United States where much of the press was against Donald Trump and was trying to navigate discourse, making it a little more balanced. Donald Trump felt that he was, they were unfair to him. But I think that in India, even the mainstream media is part of post-truth politics.
Yeah, I think
and
so.
I want to raise a question that is this the way you empower public opinion? Is this the way you propagate information which is power?
Right.
So that an empowered public opinion leads to a robust democracy? Because it is believed that a free press empowers public opinion. And that empowered public opinion, when it goes to vote, it votes the right person. But there is a conscious effort to mislead people, to dumb down their intellect, to not allow them space to learn about key issues.
Right.
In public domain today, Saba, we have people discussing foreign policy, people discussing nuclear policy. There is no respect for institutional democracy anymore in this country. Because everything has to be done through the popular means.
Right.
And the best instrumentality there is what? Post-truth politics.
Post-truth politics.
Keep people ignorant, mislead them, so that they don't run away from being your captive audience.
Ashok ji, in your time, do you see a change in India as such from the time that you served in Atalji's PMO? Do you see the media as today, whether you agree with the end game or whatever it is, but do you see the media as being irresponsible and not drumming up, sort of being hysterical, irresponsible? Do you see a deterioration in the media?
Saba, I would not say that media is changed, but what I see is commercialization of media or in the media.
Right.
That is a phenomena which has been gaining currency over the last few years. It might have started even say post 91 globalization era and the advent of private channels. Social media comes later.
Sir, I am talking about the post-truth thing because the media likes to build up certain personalities and then they don't want to ask complicated policy-related questions.
No, I would like to emphasize why I am saying commercialization in the media, because the media is, playing to the gallery.
Right.
Now, they are governed by the TRP factor.
Right.
For them, truth has no relevance, facts have no relevance. What sells is relevant for them.
Excellent.
And this has deteriorated everything in this social life, including politics.
Absolutely.
So today, when the electronic media in particular, they try to set agenda in every field of life.
Right, absolutely.
And the politics has also got influenced by it.
Absolutely.
Today, what the politicians say or do is also playing to the gallery, because the channels and the television media would show what they want. So they are in fact laying a trap for every segment of the society, and all of us are falling prey to that. So therefore, most of the time they have proved wrong as well.
Right,
like in the US.
Right.
or even the Britain, and to some extent in India as well, forecasting election going wrong.
Right.
But nevertheless, they still hold the sway over the life of the people in India, and that is why the problem I feel lies with, and why they are doing it for TRP, because of the commercial interest. For them, I would go to the extent of saying that some of our electronic media channels are so insensitive
Right.
that they bother least about the social cause or the issue they are raising.
Absolutely.
All the time their eye is on TRP, which gets them revenue. So I think that all these factors put together, there is a deterioration in political field, in social field, and now I come to the social media.
Right.
Now, most of us believe that social media, what we hear and see is genuine. No, it is not genuine. It is all stage managed.
Stage managed,
You have agencies today which can,
Wonderful, yeah.
do whatever you like.
Right.
And genuinely, the people who are innocent, they think, why social media is reflecting the society, which they are not. So put together, I would say that the entire issue which we are discussing today should revolve around the role of the media, including the social media.
Absolutely. Professor Kumar, do you know this era of post-truth? Now, we are not historically, we are talking about events of the last few years, because we are at the beginning of another year. And because the word has been particularly picked up and mentioned as the word of 2016 by the Oxford Dictionary, because of Donald Trump. Because there are some people who say that we are actually being subjected to the same trend for years. And I think what Ashok ji has very clearly said, that the media is part of that. Do you agree with that?
Well,
Or do you
my
think-
problem is that we are in a hurry to find the guilty about this new problem of veracity, legitimacy, factuality. But it has to do something with new engagement of people with communication technology. It happened earlier also when the print media came after Gutenberg revolution. People had pamphlet wars, and you have contesting claims
Right.
about the reality between the working class and the bourgeoisie, between the Catholics and Protestants, between the Hindus and the Muslims. But then a way was found to keep anchored in facts, and those who were factually wrong, as I said earlier, were dumped, were put in the dustbin, that they are liars, they are propagandists, they are in a way myth makers. Today again these two forces are on trial, which are products of modernity and democracy.
Right.
That is politics, mass politics. People like Trump or Hillary Clinton or Modi and Rahul Gandhi and others, and mass media. These were not there just 200 years ago.
Right.
It was a sin to talk about power. King was always right, otherwise you'll be beheaded. So I think we are growing to learn to live with truth, but then people are taking chances. Today social media has to be, not so much electronic media, because you still have some kind of a system of defamation and trials and court intervention. In social media it is anonymous. People are enjoying this anonymity with great irresponsibility. Not everybody. But as Ashok ji said, it is becoming a profession to promote post-truth situations.
Right.
And then this gets connected with traditional myths, fears, problems of the other, xenophobia,
Right.
stigmatizing the other, finding the other, then blaming the other. I think this should be avoided in politics. It may be a short-run success for people like Trump and others,
Right.
including in India, but then it's like a chance given only once. Kaat ki hadi barabar nahi chadhegi.
Yes.
Don't try your
Okay.
luck too much
Right.
with post-truth.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll want to ask Professor Sharma, without any offense, you must give me some leeway. It's a very honest question that I'm asking you. You're an RSS thinker. So, the way I see it, I've covered the BJP for a long time. I've interviewed one of your I mean, I know the RSS also. The problem this is not a tu me engagement, that actually to an extent you have been, some institutions have been spreading, have built up images of certain communities, their own version of histories, which could actually be post-truth in a way much before the world discovered it. So my question to you is that the idea of playing to emotion, to stereotypes, prejudice, is it something that many organizations in India have done in any case for a while? If post-truth is to be limited to that.
I think I would say that you have been a bit unkind to RSS by saying that it has made certain images of a certain
No, there
community.
are sir, over the years I found factual campaigns which are wrong,
in fact,
based on wrong
RSS
facts.
is a victim of propaganda against post-truth.
Okay,
RSS is a victim of the post-truth.
right.
And if you know RSS, then RSS has never closed its doors to any community. This is one. Whether that community comes or doesn't come, it's their choice. But they have not closed the doors.
Okay.
Now the second question that I would like to say is that at times, as I said in the beginning also, that if it is a mere monologue in political discourse,
Right.
then there is no problem. Whether you call it truth or post-truth,
Right.
it's a monologue. But the day you get the space to have a counter view, then problems arise because they start questioning your ideology or your viewpoint. This is what happened in India also.
Right.
Secondly, I would say that Indian people, you say whatever you want to, but they know how to filter between real and imaginary.
Okay.
And they have given verdicts
Okay.
on the basis of that.
Right.
Right from 1967
Right.
till date,
Right.
if you look at the electoral verdicts, they have based their verdict on certain analysis. They may not be experts of the subject. They may not be knowing what is post-truth,
Right.
but they know what to do and how to act and what to decide,
Right.
whom to vote. And there is a self-corrective system.
Right.
You can befool people once,
Right.
but second time you
yes.
cannot.
I agree with you, sir. I absolutely do. And there was no offense at all meant here.
No.
No, not at all. Vinod, because we are now just getting into the last few minutes of the program, I want to know your assessment as such a veteran journalist. I find that on the issue, what the recent demonetization that's happened in India, many experts have given factual things which do not seem to, which suggest that this may have been not a financially sound decision. Yet, I feel that by a play of emotion and thing, the government is actually, it's not got so many people against it. That is my assessment. So is that post-truth also?
You see, may I say one thing? I have no issues with the government defending
No,
its
I'm
policy.
saying it's that.
No, I have no issues with the government defending its policy.
Yeah.
Making claims. You see, politicians have a tendency of making tall claims.
Right.
But I have a serious issue with various versions of nationalism that we see happening in this country. There is religious nationalism, there is cultural nationalism, there is military nationalism, and now what we are seeing is financial nationalism, economic nationalism. Now, with everything, you are going to, with every position that I take on issues, you are going to judge my love for the country. I am an Indian nationalist, and I have the right to criticize, and the others have a right to rebut, but in a language that is civil, and by marshalling arguments that are cogent. Now, post-truth politics it kills all that.
Yeah.
It kills all civility, all tenets of decency, and paints you as one who is against the country, who is against the society, and who is perhaps being navigated by an enemy power. You see, demonetization, if we discuss demonetization, we would be missing the wood for the trees. We should discuss the issues of minorities. We discuss the issues of Kashmir. Let us discuss the issue of what one wants to eat. What should be one's dietary habit? Can another person force that on me? No, that is where post-truth politics comes into play in the most deleterious manner.
I get your point. Ashokji, I'm going to give you the last word because we're down to 2 minutes. The issue right now is, you can see that there are various concerns. My basic concern is actually not even political or rhetorical. It's just that when facts show something else. Surely if we start having policies which go away from facts, from what the economists tell us are the facts on the ground, then how can we progress as a nation? That's my real concern right now. So so in this post-truth era, would you just give us a few wrap-up sentences?
There is always two sides of the coin.
Right.
No, facts could be one side of the coin. The other side also has a right to put the facts. So it's up to the people to judge.
Okay.
Now, on the issue which we are discussing, like demonetization, now well, there are facts which are for and against as well. Now, if I look at the channels, again I am bringing the media, if you look at certain channels, they are putting across only one side of the facts, the other channels are putting the other side of the fact. Now, therefore, I think in this post-truth politics, the ultimate judge will remain the people, whether it is America, Britain or in India.
Right.
So, we have to have faith in the judgment of the people
Right.
of India, and I have great faith in the wisdom of the people of India. So, they are right, they know what to see, they must be getting views from both sides,
Okay.
but ultimately they will judge the reality, and the truth will certainly come out.
Okay.
So, I think we should not get worried about what has happened in the recent incidents about post-truth politics.
Aims to subvert the native wisdom of the people.
Okay.
It is the
Thank-
biggest
But it is
enemy
for
of the
the
native
people
wisdom
to
of the
judge.
people.
You can't
Post-truth
undermine
politics.
the wisdom of the people that they will not judge the truth in reality. So, I have full
So-
faith in the people of the country.
Thank you so much. So what we have here, thank you to all my panelists, and what we have here is a belief that post-truth could bury facts and deal with emotion. I think we can agree broadly with that. The question is, some would argue that emotion is as valid as another argument can be, and obviously if we were given another half an hour, we'd have our argument would get very heated, but we are not. But I hope we've just touched on a theme and enlightened our viewers. So thank you very much.